Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different, mainly because I get asked a lot of questions about affordable products and drugstore products that I love the most. So I felt that it was only relevant to go ahead and make a top 10 under $10. Personally, I find it very important to incorporate drugstore and affordable looks into makeup looks and, you know, everyday routines. So I think this will be very, very helpful to those who are constantly asking me, you know, what's your favorite foundation from the drugstore? What's your favorite concealer, eyeshadow, all that jazz? I have it here. It was actually very, very hard to find just 10 items that I love so much because I had like 15. So I had to really condense those down into products that I know I repurchase time and time again. So I hope this video you find it helpful, and if you want to know what my top 10 under $10 are, you already know what to do. So to start off, I have to go ahead and talk about foundation. So I have two foundations here because I just could not choose between the two. I love them so much. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Plus Poreless Foundation. Now this foundation ranges from $5.35 to $7.99 depending on where you bought it from. I usually buy mine from a Walmart or a CVS, usually where I know they hold my color, and I am in the shade 355 Coconut with this particular foundation. I love this foundation. It's a medium to full coverage. You can really build it up and it doesn't cake. So that's one good thing I really like about it. Another good thing is, other than the price, the fact that it just blends really beautifully into the skin. Like, it doesn't settle into your fine lines, it doesn't look cakey, and you get a good amount of wear time with this foundation. I've been using this ever since it came out. I've probably repurchased maybe like 7 bottles of this just since, and I have a lot of other foundations, but this is one of those foundations that I find myself reaching for a lot of the time. My second favorite foundation from the drugstore is the L'Oreal Pro Matte Foundation. Now I used this foundation in my first video, so if you watched that, you already know how much I love this. This is $9.99, I believe. I usually get it from my local CVS because my local Walmart's usually out of the last shade. But you guys do know, if you watched my first video, I do mix the last shade and the second to last shade to get my perfect shade. Shade. Just throwing shade. As you know, I do really love this foundation. I live for this foundation. Both foundations, actually. But with this one, this is a really full coverage foundation and it's completely matte. The finish of it is very matte. And it's not drying, which is one good thing I like about it, because there are some matte foundations that can be really dry against your skin, and I like that this one isn't. So if you're looking for a really good, very matte foundation, go with this one. The Maybelline one that I did show is very matte, but it's more of like a natural matte. So it's not, your face doesn't look powdered, you know what I mean? Next is concealers. Concealers wasn't hard. I have my top two. Those two I just couldn't choose between because I love them so much for different purposes, so I'm gonna go ahead and just show you those. The Maybelline Fit Me Concealer is one of my favorites. I've been purchasing this forever. This was one of the first concealers I ever used, even when I was getting into makeup, and I still even use it now. I use this on my face today for under my eyes and highlighting and all that jazz. This is just really good for everyday looks. Now the look I have on right now is one of my everyday go-to glam looks, and I love to use this concealer because it's not heavy. You know, it's liquidy, but it still gives you a really good, like, medium to full coverage. It's very buildable. It doesn't feel heavy or cakey under my eyes at all, which is very important with concealer. You don't want it to be heavy and weighing down on your skin. It just kind of makes you look old, and this concealer doesn't do that at all. So I love this for natural days, for, you know, everyday looks, and so on and so forth. Such a good concealer. I hope they don't change the formula for this, because this is very comparable to some high-end concealers, so this gets a check in my book. My second favorite concealer has to be the LA Girl Pro Concealers, of course. Why not? I love the LA Girl Pro Concealers because they are full coverage concealers and they last forever. I like to use these on days where I want to look way more put together for like events or parties, or, you know, if I really want that full coverage under my eyes, then I'd go with this one. One thing I also love about the LA Girl Pro Concealers is that the shade range is so good. I think they have like I don't even know. I don't even know. They just have so many shades for different purposes. And one good thing about these is you can use a shade for highlighting and contouring, as well as having a skin tone shade. Now I have 3 different shades for all those purposes. The highlighting shade that I have is Cool Tan. Now I usually use the shade Fawn on a regular, but Cool Tan is like my winter shade when my skin gets a little bit more lighter and I start to lose a little bit of my color. So Cool Tan is for that. Then Beautiful Bronze is my skin tone shade year round, no matter what. Love it. It's great. You can even use this as foundation on its own. Just kind of dot it everywhere that you want a little bit more coverage and buff it out with a beauty blender or a sponge, and literally you're good to go. Like, you don't even have to put a whole bunch of foundation. I found myself on certain days just using this as my foundation when I just need to cover up some imperfections and I just want to look a little bit put together, but you know, not do the whole shebang, you know. A good 5 minutes lay. This is your go-to. And then I use Dark Cocoa to contour my face when I want to cream contour. Again, love these concealers. Full coverage, wonderful. They last a long time. These are $2.99. You can get these off of their website, or you can actually get them from some select beauty supply stores. I know at my local beauty supply store I can get them, but of course, like I said, you can always buy them online. And I don't think I told you the price of the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, but the Maybelline Fit Me concealers range from $4.99 to $7.50 depending on where you get them from. Next, I have my Airspun loose setting powder. I live for this powder for setting under my eyes and around areas. This powder does not budge. It doesn't crease into your fine lines, and it really does stay a really, really long time. I reach for this powder more than all my other powders, and I'll just be honest with that, because I just love how blendable this is. Now I have mine in the shade Translucent. Okay, it doesn't have a transparent shade or anything. This is the closest to transparent that you'll get, so like a no color powder. I have no white cast under my eyes when I use this, and that's one thing that's also important to me as far as setting powders from the drugstore, not giving me that white cast because of my skin tone, and this powder does not do that. Your under eyes will stay creaseless all day. You don't understand. Go out and get this, because I swear by this. I really, really, really do. For setting all over the face, I love using my black Opal loose finishing powder. It's just amazing. My skin looks airbrushed every time I put it on. I just take a big powder brush and I just dot it all over and, you know, sweep it around, get it nice and covered. But like I said, this makes me look airbrushed, which is why I like it. I don't like to layer powder. I don't even like to look powdery in general. And this powder doesn't make me look powdery. I know, it's kind of weird. It's a powder and you're not looking powdery. This powder does not make me look powdery at all. Like I said, airbrushed. And it lasts for a long time. It's $9.99. I believe I can get this from Walmart. It's like $9.89 or $9.99. Just under the $10. So I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. But this powder is great. They have 3 other shades, I believe, and I have the shade Dark. Now for blush, this was a no-brainer for me because I pick this up all the time. This is the e.l.f. blush palette. Now, let me just show you these colors because I love this palette for on the go. You have 4 nicely sized pans. You have a range of colors, like I said. I don't really like blushes that are too powdery to where they look patchy, but these are very buttery and very smooth. Like, if I could swatch these for you, let me just swatch, like, okay. So I'm gonna swatch this pinky shade here. And so that's what it looks like swatched on my hand. But of course, when you go to, you know, blend it out, it just blends beautifully. Just beautifully. I hope you can see that, but you know, just a nice wash of color, which is what I like about my blushes. I like to just have a wash of color on my cheeks opposed to, like, you know, red and pink. You know, you can just see that. I love the wash of color. It just makes it look way more natural. And this palette, like I said, amazing. It can do just that. It's $6. You get 4 pans. You can't beat that. Next, I have some highlighters. Disco ball, disco ball. I love highlighters. If you've been watching me on YouTube so far, if you've been following me on social network, if you know me, disco ball is where you go. It is. It just is. So my favorite highlighters from the drugstore, I mean, this was a no-brainer for me too. These are... People just rude. People are just rude. But anyway, my favorite highlighters from the drugstore has to be the Wet n Wild highlighters. They call them shimmer palettes, but obviously they're highlighters, obviously. I have 2 shades that I love so much. The first shade is Boozy Brunch, and I'm gonna actually swatch these for you because these are just beautiful. So this is what Boozy Brunch looks like. It's really swirled and it has nice golds and bronzes and a little bit of pink, but don't worry, that pink doesn't overpower the whole entire palette itself. So I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch Boozy Brunch. I mean, look at that, oh my god. And I'm just gonna swatch it. Do you see that swatch? Do you see that? Look how pigmented, and just look how it reflects against the light. And this is just a finger swatch, so you're not even going to be putting this streak of highlighter on your face just automatically. Obviously, you would use a brush to kind of, you know, make it iridescent, but the fact that this is just a finger swatch, like, girl. My second palette that I have is the shade Sangria Castles. Again, I could barely speak English. Don't ask me to pronounce these correctly because you're just gonna get gibberish. But here's this one. It's a nice bronzy gold. The majority of it is like a rosy gold bronze, which I really like for every day. And it's kind of like my go-to highlighter shade, bronzes and things like that, because they work well with my skin tone. So I'm just gonna swatch this as well. And again, it's very bronzy, and those are kind of my go-to types of highlighters. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch that on my hand. Just beautiful. Just look how it reflects against the light. Like that's a highlighter. Highlight! Just beautiful. Just beautiful. And they don't even break up on my face when I use them, which is very important as well. Sometimes when you've worn like your makeup forever, sometimes the highlighter will start to break down and you can kind of see it look patchy. But these, no ma'am. No ma'am. These highlighters range from, I think, like $3.99 to $5.99 depending on where you get it from. So I know I picked these up from CVS and they're about like $4.50 or something like that. So check out your local CVS and check out your local Walmart to find these palettes. Next, I have my NYX eyebrow pencil, and this is in the shade Dark Brown. I reach for this a lot on an everyday basis when I'm just doing everyday looks. The shade is really, really nice. It's not too black and it's not too warm, so it really does match the way I want my eyebrows to look. And again, I think it is $4.99 for this, and again, I get this from my local CVS, of course. I really do like this pencil. I do swear by this pencil. The tip is a little fat, and I like that because I do have a lot of hair on my eyebrows, and when I do my eyebrows, I want them to be as full as possible, so I like to use this to help me achieve that. And lastly, lip colors. My favorite of all time, ColourPop liquid lipsticks. Hands down. Hands down. Hands down. These are my favorites. And these aren't even all that I have. These are just some. These are the ones that are my favorite out of all the ones that I have that I'd like to swatch for you today. But the formula of these, their ultra matte lips and even their satin lips, great. These are $6.99. No matter which kind you get, whether it's ultra matte or satin, it will be $6.99. And you can't beat that. You have to order these online off of their website, but it's fine because look what you about to get. Look, are they cute? I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch these for you because I get excited when I get liquid lipstick. So the first color I'm gonna swatch for you is LAX. It's like a brown burgundy, perfect for fall. This is like my fall color. Second shade I'm gonna swatch for you is Limbo, and it's a very nice warm kind of pumpkin-y brown. Just perfect. I just love fall colors. Next for you I have Teeny Tiny, and it's a very nice mauve-y pink. Love this color too. I wore this a lot in the summer, but I also do love it for the fall as well. Next color is Chilly Chilly, and I currently have this on my lips right now. It's kind of like Teeny Tiny, but it has a little bit of like a red tint to it. It's not as pink. It has a little bit of that like browny red. I have that on my lips right now. Next I have Tule. It's still kind of mauve pink, but it has more of that red. Lastly, I have Kapow. It has like a gray undertone to it. So those are all my favorite ColourPop Ultra Matte lips. So those are all my top 10 products under $10. Affordable, drugstore, you can get them anywhere. Like I said, my reasoning for putting these into this video is because I regularly repurchase these. These are items that I know, that I swear by. I repurchase them. I go through them like crazy. Like I said, it was kind of hard, but I had to really narrow it down to just 10, and I think I did just that just fine. I will put in the description box where you can get all of these. If you're not following me on social media, you might as well go do that. It's right here. Just type it in. Type it in. Alright guys, well that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this, please leave me a thumbs up and I'll continue to do things like this. Maybe a top 5 under $5, top 20 under $20, what have you. Whatever videos you'd like me to do, please leave me comments. And again, thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead. Might as well so you don't miss none of the fun. But yeah, that's all I have. Until next time, I love you guys and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!